Hello, my name is Professor Ann Ravito, and I'm a professor in the Information Technology Department at Horry Georgetown Technical College. This video is to help you get started in CPT 170 online courses. Now, the first thing you need to do is go to www.hgtc.edu. Once you're there, you're going to click on My WaveNet, the same way you registered for classes and have done other things. All right, so let me log in. Okay, I have logged in. Oh, and I absolutely hit a wrong key there. Okay, you know, this is embarrassing. Third time's the charm. All right, click on your My Students tab, and then come over to the left-hand side of your screen and click on My Courses. Now, once you're here, you'll see your Microcomputer Applications course, and when you click on it, it will take you to D2L. Now, it does not take you to the D2L you're directly to your course, but it does take you to the D2L homepage. If I come over here, I see my CPT 170 I-01 Microcomputer Applications course for summer, so I'm going to click on that. Alright, now when we come in here, we're going to see several things on this homepage. The first is the description of the class, and then some book information, along with the fact that you're going to need a jump drive, and you're going to need Microsoft Office 2010, including Access if you're working at home. Obviously, since this video is meant for students taking the internet class, you are going to be working at home. If you buy your book from the bookstore, you will get a 180-day copy of Microsoft Office 2010 that includes Access so that you can work from home. Otherwise, you're going to have Microsoft Office 2010. This does not include 2007 or whatever the current Mac version is, or Office 2013. None of those will work for this class. Alright, so once we've decided that, then we come down here and we see My IT Lab Access. Now we're going to come back. There's a separate video for getting registered for that and getting started. Right now we're concerned with this. Alright, so we have a syllabus quiz. And the purpose for the syllabus quiz is to make sure that you understand exactly how the class is run. I'm going to go over the syllabus with you, and then you will take the syllabus quiz. Until you get 100 on the syllabus quiz, you cannot get into the content. There's an awful lot of content, some of which you need, such as data files. So you really need to pay attention and take notes while I cover the syllabus, which will come up here any minute. Alright. Okay. This is a PDF document. Right, and here is the home page, which has the course description. There are no prerequisites, the codes, the book. Now you can buy a hard copy book rather than the ebook access code. That is up to you. Now, if you're going to work at home, and since again you're taking the internet course, you will be, these are your system requirements that you must have. Here are your browser components. Okay, now once you look on this, and this course, My IT Lab also supports Internet Explorer. I see here it says SuccessNet Plus users. That's not you. Alright. Okay, so as we scroll down through here, you'll see some additional requirements. If your computer does not meet these requirements, you will have to come to school and do your work here. Now, you're saying to me, I don't have a clue whether this is going to work. Okay, here's what you have to do. When we get to the My IT Lab video, it's going to say a home diagnostic. If you run the home diagnostic, it will tell you if your home system meets all these requirements or what you might have to do to make it meet that. So that's one of the good things about that. And I'll show you that in a subsequent video. Okay, here are your learning outcomes, and these are the skills you can expect to get from each software. All communications with your instructor should be done through D2L email unless your instructor gives you another way to communicate them. Any changes, such as in email, that is the instructor may make, will be given to you in writing, a hard copy. It won't just be verbal. Now, student support for home with WaveNet and D2L. Faculty cannot handle all of the problems out of classes. There's just too many. And when you have a faculty with multiple classes, then it really becomes overwhelming. However, you're not left out there by yourself. As you see from this particular topic in the syllabus, we have a help desk. Now this help desk is for WaveNet and D2L. We'll talk about how you get help for My IT Lab later. There is a phone number for the help desk listed here. There's also the live help support. In the left-hand corner of your screen when you first log on to WaveNet, you'll see a help screen. We can click on that and you can chat with somebody. There's also walk-in support located on the Conway campus, building 200, room 213. All right, now, as far as My IT Lab goes, My IT Lab has 24/7 technical support through Pearson Publishing. You can send an email, you can chat, or you can phone. In my experience, the chat has been the best option. And the reason for that is when you're working on a phone, the phones, you're going to have to sit in a queue and you're going to have to wait and wait and wait. And each operator can only take care of one call at a time. With chat, they can work with multiple people. And they'll be very happy to help you. They're very, very good. At the Student Success and Technology Center. This is a center where if you are having problems with the course, then you can go here and you can receive tutoring. Sometimes our students need just a little bit of a boost in the very beginning, especially if this is your first semester taking classes. It can be very overwhelming. And if you go by the tutoring center, they'll just get you going. Now, it's okay if you need help throughout the semester. That's what they're there for. So anytime you have problem with an assignment or something, make an appointment and go over there. This is your class schedule. Right? Now you'll notice that you have a hands-on exercise and an assignment. We have hands-on exercises, which are done out of the book, and we'll get into a little more detail of that in a minute. And then we have things that are done in My IT Lab. The hands-on exercises are due on Sunday nights. Everything from My IT Lab is due on Wednesday nights. For online classes, the hands-on exercises are your attendance work. So, and we'll talk more about attendance, but you have to have these in on time. On time does not mean Monday morning, calling me Monday morning to say, well, gee, I couldn't get it uploaded. I'll tell you right now, and I will repeat this several times throughout the video, late assignments are not accepted. Here's our required course measures and artifacts. These are things that we need to keep track of for purposes, with documentation purposes within the department. All right, your evaluations. Hands-on exercises are worth 5%, but like I said, for the online classes, these are also your attendance. This is also your attendance work, and so, you know, it's worth a lot more to you than 5%. Objective post-tests are 9%, hands-on post-tests are 18%, are worth 38%, and the final exam is worth 30%. Now, the check sheet is not something that is graded. What it is a sheet to help you keep on track for whatever it is you have to do each week. They tell you the files that need to be turned in from the hands-on exercises and the exact due dates for everything. I recommend that you check each week on these check sheets so that you can make sure you have everything done so that you can get the best possible grade for this course. Objective post-tests. The objective post-tests are done in my IT lab and covering the reading assignment you have for each chapter. These are multiple choice questions. Each test can only be taken one time. You may use your book. In other words, this is an open book. And this is a part of the grade that students very often overlook, but you can get a perfect score on these tests, or pretty close to it. So that's an easy 9%. The hands-on post-tests are done in my IT lab's office simulation. You will do training before you do these tests, and these tests are part of the weekly assignment. Again, these are done in class since you don't have class, but they are done on your own at home, and you could look in your book if you needed to. Each test may only be taken one time. The homework project instructions and startup files are downloaded from my IT lab, but are done using the actual Microsoft Office 2010 software. The 2010 software has to be installed on the computer where you're doing these projects. Once you've uploaded this for the first time, you can see what it is you've done and what errors you have. Microsoft or my IT lab will give you feedback on anything that's just done incorrectly. You then have one more chance to correct the problems and resubmit. If when you're doing your homework projects and after you've done them the first time, you don't understand where your errors are or what your problems are, I will be happy to help you see what they are and point you in the correct direction to get them corrected. Hands-on exercises are also done using the actual Microsoft Office 2010 software. The hands-on exercises are located in your book, and they walk you through step by step for the skills that are taught in each chapter. The files for these exercises are located in D2L, and you can download them at the beginning of the semester. We'll cover that in another video. Each of the chapter's hands-on exercises should be completed before starting any other hands-on work. These are the exercises that are due on Sunday, but in addition to that, the reason we want you to do them first is because if you do them first, it will make everything else easier to do. Now, the only thing left out of the grading area is the final exam. The final exam instructions and startup files are downloaded from my IT lab, but they're done on the simulation. This is a change, okay, but are done using the actual Microsoft Office 2010 software. The exam is going to be taken on the Conway campus in the Computer Technology Department at the date and time and room number to be announced later. Grades are very important because they impact academic progress and your financial aid status. Before you withdraw from a course, you need to talk to your instructor. Now, your instructor may not be able to tell you the effect withdrawing from a course will have on your financial aid status, so you should also talk to the financial aid counselor about the implication. D's and F's, even incompletes, negatively affect your academic progress and your financial aid status. The drop-add period is in the first 5 days of the semester for full-term classes. You must attend at least, okay, the next week, excuse me, I just got ahead of myself there. The following week of the semester is financial aid attendance verification period. You must attend at least one meeting of all your classes during that period. If you do not, you will be dropped from the course and your financial aid will be reduced accordingly. The SSTC, which is the tutoring center, and we had that little blurb about it before, and this just gives you a little more information about it in your syllabus. The SSTC is there for you, period. It's there to help you succeed. Do not feel that you can't go to the tutoring center because you're embarrassed or something. There's all kinds of things there. For example, there's also time management and study skills packets there. So there's lots of stuff at the SSTC, and you need to take advantage of it. Okay, grading policy 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 99 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C. I can tell you honestly that if you do all of the work in this class, hand it in on time, you will pass your final exam and you will pass this course. If you do not do all of the work required in this class, and it is quite a bit, then you will not, well, you may pass the final exam, but you will not pass the course because of the way the percentages are set. You have to commit to doing this work each week. This can be a problem with internet classes because you can forget about it, you can tend to have it slide. Please don't do that. I know from past experience, if you don't do the work, you can't pass the class. Right? Most of the departmental rules deal with in-class work. However, there are a couple here. We do not accept extra credit work. We do not curve grades. We absolutely, positively do not accept late assignments. All right. We don't have these, or all the rest of these are class things. Obviously, your cell phones and beepers and pagers have nothing to do with your internet course. All right. Let me be clear about this. If you cannot get your computer to run correctly about anything, you are still required to hand the work in on time. If you cannot get your computer to work, you are required to come to one of our 3 campuses, either the Georgetown, Grand Strand, or Conway campus, do the work and hand it in. Now, if you wait until Sunday at noon, and your computer quits on you, you will not be able to do this because none of our computer labs are open on Sundays. All right? So that's your excuse for not doing your work. No. That gets you a 0 for your hands-on exercises and marks you absent for that week. Please start the work early. If you do that, you won't run into trouble. If you wait till the last minute, not going to be able to help you with it. Now, if you have to come to class, we want you to show respect for others, exhibit respect for the college property, and show respect for authority if anyone happens to ask you a question or something while you're there. Now this one you may have noticed I skipped. Take ownership and responsibility for one's learning. You must do your own work. There is information built in to each one of the grader projects, which is your homework project, which will flag an integrity violation if you copy. So if you hand in somebody else's work, you will be flagged with copying. That is cheating. The first time that happens, you will be given both people will be given a 0, and it flags both people will be given a 0, and then your name will be forwarded to Student Affairs and our department head. Now, if you do it a second time, you'll both get 0s, but your name will be forwarded to Student Affairs for further action by the college. This does not matter if you are roommates sharing a computer, if you're husband and wife sharing a computer. You have to keep your work separate and turn in only your work. Consequences for not following any of the guidelines above are listed in the Code of Conduct, and this includes cheating. Right. The attendance policy here is primarily for full semesters, since in the summer we only have 10 weeks, then 10%, we have the minimum. Our department requires 90% of the classes in order to receive credit. Okay, that means you can miss 10%. That means you can miss one class. So if you don't hand the hands-on exercises in one time, you will be marked absent. If you don't hand them in a second time, you will be withdrawn from class. Okay, now when we're talking about physical, traditional face-to-face classes, this is a policy. Here's the online attendance policy, which I'll go over again. The online course week is considered to be Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 10 p.m. All solution files for the weekly chapter hands-on exercises must be made by 11:59 on Sunday. How do you know if you finished all the work and submitted them? You look at the check sheets in D2L. There's a list of all the files that are required. Failure to complete all solution files for the week by 11:59, I will say failure to submit all completed solution files will result in you being absent. If you fail to turn in all of the files for 2 weeks, either consecutive or non-consecutive, you will be withdrawn from the course. Notice, this does not say if you fail to turn in, if you just turn in some of them, you're okay. If you don't turn them all in, you're going to be marked absent. That's why you need to make sure you check the checklist. Again, most of these things, these comments, this is entering information into the computer. The one thing I will call your attention to is professors will normally act as a facilitator to help each student learn the course concepts. That means quite often a question by the student will be met with a question by the professor in order to help the student reach his or her own answers. Right. Resetting the objective and/or hands-on post-tests. Objective and post-test are restricted to 1 attempt each. If your computer drops your internet connection and you're unable to access that post-test due to the attempts exceeded, your instructor will reset it for you. No test for any reason will be reset after 5 p.m. on the assignment due dates. Again, this is why you need to start early. Please be aware that this course has 4 to 5 assignments for each chapter, and because of the 10-week summer session, there will be weeks where 2 chapters are assigned. These assignments are not short, and you can spend as many as 15 to 20 hours on these assignments depending upon how fast you read and type. Department rules require all assignments to be handed in on time. Late assignments are not accepted for any reason. Don't come to me and say, I was on the river all day Sunday, I didn't get it done. Or, we were on a family vacation last week and I just didn't get it done. That doesn't matter. Your work has to be turned in. And remember what I said at the very beginning of this video. If you do all the work and hand it in, then you will pass the finals and you will pass the course. If you do not do all the work and hand it in, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to pass the course. At the hardware software issues I was talking to you before, when we talked about the help desk on campus for D2L and WaveNet, or the Pearson help desk for my IT lab. I'm reiterating this. I know I've said it before, but I want everybody to understand it. If your computer breaks or your software expires, you are expected to go to campus and get the work done on time in one of our labs. Period. All right? Again, this is something I've already talked about, but we're going to go over it. Plagiarism will not be tolerated in the CPT department. Copying of another student's work is considered plagiarism. First offense, both students receive a 0 for the assignment, and the letter will be written to both students with a copy forwarded to the academic chair as well as student services to be placed in the student's file. Second offense, both students again receive a 0, and the letter will be sent to Student Services Department to take further action. Further action can include being dropped from college, being thrown out of school. We don't tolerate it. Okay. July 8th, 2013 is the last day to withdraw and unconditionally receive a grade of W. Withdrawal after this date will result in the grade based on the quality of work produced. Okay, you only have one real set of tests, and that's the final exam. Because you're doing the post-test and they're unsupervised, you don't need to worry about that. You have a whole week to get them done. Don't miss the final exam. You will have lots and lots of different times to take it, and if that does not fit into your schedule, contact your instructor and they will be able to make a special time available for you. Obviously, since I'm not coming to class, that makes no difference on the instructor late policy. Now, this personal information sheet is blank because this is one that was a generic syllabus that we filled out. I will have my information on this information sheet, and it will be posted in D2L as soon as possible. Now, this was an introduction to the D2L, an introduction to the syllabus. You should be able to take the syllabus quiz now. The syllabus quiz must be taken and you must receive 100 on it. Once you've done that, then you'll be able to get into the content. The next video is going to deal with the content of the content module. So until then, I'll just say bye.